Another beautiful day here in Australia, on the sunny Gold Coast, the northern end of the country, where dreams are made of here in Queensland, I can assure you. It's an area like most areas in Australia that has its fair share of mental illness and mental health. And today I just want to talk about a few things that what causes poor mental health and how it happens in a person's life, or some of the factors why it happens. And just as an example, the following factors could potentially result in a period of poor mental health. Childhood abuse, that's a big one. Trauma, neglect, social isolation, or loneliness. That's huge, the loneliness. Experiencing discrimination and stigma. Social disadvantage is a huge one. Poverty or debt bereavement, or losing someone close to you. What a shattering experience emotionally, as many people would know. Ways you can handle this trauma of mental health. You can consider sharing your feelings with a friend or family member, or seeing a counsellor or a psychologist. Important. Some people find it helpful to join a support group for carers of people with mental illness. It is essential to look after your needs when struggling with mental illness. Try to get sleep. It's really important that you try to get as much sleep as possible. And follow a balanced diet. That's really important. Your diet is absolutely huge in mental illness. And another good thing there is to maintain your interests. That's really important when you're going through mental illness. Can we fix ourselves? Well, that's a question mark, isn't it? But I've got some good news for you guys out there. And the answer is definitely yes. How to fix me mentally and emotionally lies finding in new ways to learn how to cope when we feel. We are so invested in our past experience that they become ropes, not hope. There is a difference holding us back from achieving our full potential, those ropes. And remember, you're fighting an inner battle, and when you realise this stuff, it's going to help you come through it. And that means it might have leave permanent impressions on your mind from scarring. But the good news is, from your pain and struggle, there is hope. And I'll just go in to the importance of hope, because it is very, very important. Because without hope, it's really hard to move through most things. But hope in mental illness underpins the recovery process of it. As recovery, it depends on the notion that a patient desires you do get better with having hope. This makes hope the route by which it occurs. It's really important to remember that. And what are the skills involved in developing hope? The skills involved in hope are similar to the skills in the attitudes and resilience. First, we need to use the mood of optimism rather than pessimism. It's really important that we just look at hope and not get down on ourselves and plug into negative feelings and thoughts. We must consider things as events, like that they will pass. All thoughts will pass. You know that. They do pass. Whether good or bad, like thoughts, you have good ones and bad ones. Having a specific rather than a persuasive effect on our lives. And how do we keep hope alive? Well, that's a good one. You know, to keep hope alive. It's keeping, practicing by ensuring you take action on other goals and dreams that if you haven't got them, just think of them, write them down, find them, get really dreamy in there. It's really, really important that you get dreamy, and then when you get dreamy, you can start setting goals. And when you write them down, that's when you can work towards your stuff. And it's really, really important that, by writing down your goals and dreams, that is taking action. That's really important. And the other thing that makes it important when writing down this stuff with hope is that you see it, and when you see it, when you're going through the tough times, it just really helps you. Seeing it more clearly when you write it down. Now, I've come up, and these are great. These are really great ways to stay in hope. And I've applied the same things in my life with hope, and it works. And when you write down your goals and your dreams, you believe in the opportunity that's possible to come. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30 or 40, or you have a lifetime to succeed, in opportunities with your dreams and goals. There was a lady, Arena Huffington, Hope for a Vision, and that started, and the end result, that was the Huffington Post. And she did that at 55 years of age. Can you believe that? And today, that is one of the most successful websites in the world. Anything is possible when hope is involved. And the other thing I've put down for 2 is being patient in hope. It's really important. When achieving, setting out to achieve long-term success, it does take time. It is as simple as that. Don't fall into the hype of like Facebook or any other social media, with their false sense of likes and wrong approvals. And I say that because it is so prevalent with us these days, because you can lose hope from thinking that likes and things like approvals there, are a benchmark of who you are, and they're not. They're really not. And you've got to be aware of that stuff, because that's how you can lose hope. When you start feeling down or not good enough. So yeah, be really aware of it. And number 3, I've put there, stop selling yourself short. It's really important. It's amazingly important. When the going gets tough, it's natural to begin to lose confidence in yourself. I do it. And everybody does it, just remember, you're not alone in losing confidence, man. You're not alone, bros, or if you're female, you're not alone out there, girl. Things do get better, and just please know that is part of the journey. You have to lose confidence. I lose confidence every day, but I keep going. So it's okay. And know that, you're a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for, mentally and physically. And the way I do that, I remember my past. and I remember past struggles, and I remember things that I've overcome in struggles, and that's what gives me the juice to remember how strong I am. You know, it's really important. And what our brains and predispositions to make us believe versus the pain, that we can actually endure it through. That's what I do. I just look back on the past, and that really works well for me, looking back on that past. Play a bigger game than yourself. That's another huge one that I've put down there. The only person you should become better than every day is yourself, because you are the only one you have. Get that in your mind. You are the only one you have. And when you become good, and when you realise you're the only one you have, that your life will be better. It's really important to remember that. That you are the only one, and you know, just keep remembering that. Just keep remembering it. It's really important. And another one, number 4, experiment. You know, it's really important. Try to look as failure as finding another way to succeed. It's not a dead end. And I can assure you it's not a dead end, because I have failed miserably all my life. Being a heroin addict, being in prison for years and years and years. Business I failed at. I failed at relationships. I failed in friendships, you name it. I failed at it. So, you know, just remember, experiment better ways and learn from those failures. There are endless ways to find the solutions to your struggles. Just keep experiment with this, and the hopeful way will come to you to learn. Play a bigger game than yourself. That one's really important. And I always say, fake it until you make it. Which can be misleading. Don't get me wrong, there is a fine line. But I recommend embracing this, because if you don't see something bigger than yourself, which is a vision, you're probably not going to find hope to allow yourself to work towards that. And whatever it takes to get to that, you know, fake it before you make it. Pretend you're there. Things I used to do with that. I used to visualise I had the beautiful cars. I used to visualise I lived in the beautiful houses. And I even used to go into car yards and sit in brand new cars. And I used to feel what that was like. That was really important. And I used to go to open houses with real estates when they were selling property. And I would visualise that I was living in this place, and I would feel that stuff, and that was really important. So I was faking it until I made it. I was visualising it. I'll give you another example. I used to walk on aircrafts flying internationally when I used to fly economy, and I used to walk past people in business class, and I would see myself in that seat. You know, when you walk onto an airplane and walk through business class, you see those seats, and you see the people there in beautiful big seats, and they've got all nice things there, and, you know, they look at you and you look at them, and you might think, oh, I'd like to be there, or I bet you that's a nice way to fly. You picture it. You picture it. You picture that. And that worked for me. I pictured, I just changed it around. I see me sitting there looking back at me. And that worked. That really worked. I flew business in first class all over the world in time from the visualisation. I faked it until I made it. It does work. know when things are at their worst, hope is typically there for you if you want to see it beyond your feelings. There is always to be light at the end of the tunnel. Remember that. The greatest inventions and success stories go through a dip before they achieve prosperity through hope and action and a plan. You know, the night is darkest just before dawn. So there's something on mental illness, going into hope, and some principles you can use to start working out a mental illness. You take care now, and God bless us all. Look after yourself.